Hi, I'm Becky Blackburn. I am the Public Services Librarian here at the Westfield Athenaeum. We are starting a series of reviews of cookbooks, some that I will use on my own, some that we will take from our light lunch program that we do every month, but I'm going to be reviewing some cookbooks. This is part of our grant that we received this year, which we're all very excited about, and it's called At the Table in the Garden. So we will be doing a lot of programming this year, focusing on cooking, eating, community, and culinary literacy to really bring the community together under this umbrella of food and how important it is to us and the different aspects of that, sustainability, etc. So without further ado, I'm going to present my first cookbook, which is called Cook90. Now, this is really an interesting cookbook in that it is encouraging people to cook for 30 days, all your meals at home. No eating out, no getting anything prepared, down to your salad dressing. So it's this kind of challenge, and it's also a very intensive meal prepping book. So it's got some really interesting kind of like theories to it that you use for this. And one of their theories is called cooking with nextovers, which is a little different than leftovers. So you're making something to eat maybe for that night, but you're also intending it for a next day or next couple days use in another menu item. So it keeps you from having to cook every single meal every single day. So it's a very interesting topic. The very beginning of the book is like all about how to do this and the pitfalls. And if you've ever done a Whole30, it kind of seems a little like Whole30, not in the dietary restriction part, but just in the whole like, you can do this and here's ways to, hack your days and your weeks so that you can continue to, go through with this. So there's that. So we use this for, I mentioned briefly Light Lunch, which is our cookbook book club, which meets the third Wednesday of every month. And what we do is we all use the same cookbook, make one or two dishes from it. One woman one time made 17 dishes from a cookbook in a month. It was amazing. That was our all-time record. And she loved all of them, by the way, so we will be reviewing that cookbook at one time. So then we meet and we talk about the cookbooks, and we talk about what we liked about them, what we didn't like about them, how our meal turned out. So I'm going to kind of use that structure in these videos to talk about that. I'm just going to kind of share some of the things I made, some of the things I wish I'd made, and we're going to go from there, if my sticky notes cooperate. Okay, so one thing I really like about this cookbook is pictures. One thing I noticed in our cookbook book club is that people don't like cookbooks that don't have pictures in them. They want to see a picture of every dish. So this one's pretty good. It's got a couple that aren't pictured, but for the most part, they've got really good pictures. So this is a butternut squash soup. I love butternut squash soup. I usually make a bisque with like herbs de Provence and coconut cream in it. This one is a little different. This one's got cumin and paprika, and it has apple cider vinegar, which I thought was really interesting, which gave it a little different flavor. I wouldn't make it again. It was okay. I just tend to like my butternut squash flavor differently. I think of cumin as more Mediterranean or Spanish kind of flavor, which I love cumin and I use it all the time. But I just didn't really care for it much with the butternut squash soup. But it was a good soup. And one of the things that they did in this soup that is kind of unusual is that they had you roast the whole squash, and then you made the squash. So this was a next over. So you were supposed to like roast the squash for one meal and use some of it just as roasted squash. And then you use the rest of it for this soup for a lunch. So, and I'm a huge proponent of that. I always try to make a little extra in a meal so that I can use it for another meal, or at least for lunch the next day. So that, I really liked that. Now this might be the best thing I've made in years. This was amazing. It's Mojo Chicken with rice and beans. So it uses legs, which, I don't really cook with legs very much, but it uses legs. And you make this Mojo sauce that is so good, you want to put it on everything. You want to like put it in your coffee. I mean, it's delicious. And it's just got so many good flavors in it. And it's very easy to make. I would make this for company, and I would not be able to get them out of my kitchen after they tasted this thing, because it is so good. The garlic Mojo sauce is like an oil-based sauce with garlic and cumin and oregano and chilies and lime and orange juice, and it is just so good. And luckily, you make enough sauce that you can use it the next day too, and you can put it over more rice or more beans, but as it sits in the fridge overnight, it soaks it up. Oh, I mean, so good. So good. You put it into a skillet, and I used my my cast iron one, and then you can just put it right into the oven. It's so good. It just starts on the stove, goes into the oven. It's really, really good. I'm going to stop yammering on about that one because I am going on too long. So the next thing that I made was the Moroccan lentil soup, because I love lentil soup. And I like the idea of kind of changing up the spices and seasonings in this one. I don't know. When I make lentil soup, I just kind of make it all at the same time. They have you make the lentils separately and then make the soup, which I just felt like it was a step I didn't need to do. The flavor was nice, but the garlic lemon, have you make lemon garlic lentils, and I just didn't feel like it really contributed anything to the meal, to it in general. I mean, I feel like lentils are so bland, you really have to hit it hard with spices, and this was just not really that. So this is Cook90. This is by David Tamarkin. And I would suggest that you check this book out just for the Mojo Chicken alone. So thanks for coming. Hope to see you another time. Bye.